The silent invasion. The day the world changed began like any other. Major Sarah Reeves of the United States Air Force woke to her alarm, went for her morning run, and reported for duty at Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado Springs. Little did she know that by nightfall, everything she understood about humanity's place in the universe would be irrevocably altered. It was mid-afternoon when the first reports came in. Massive objects, initially mistaken for asteroids, had entered Earth's orbit. Within hours, it became clear these were no natural phenomena. Perfectly spherical and gleaming with an otherworldly metallic sheen, the objects defied all known laws of physics, decelerating and taking up stationary positions above major cities across the globe. Sarah found herself in the heart of a storm of activity. As a senior tactical officer specializing in orbital defense, she was thrust into an unprecedented crisis. The base buzzed with a mixture of excitement and terror as military personnel scrambled to make sense of the situation. Major Reeves, General Harrison's voice boomed across the command center. "What the hell are we looking at?" Sarah studied the holographic display, her mind racing. "Sir, based on their movements and positioning, these can only be artificial constructs. We're dealing with extraterrestrial visitors." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Humanity was not alone, and first contact was happening right before their eyes. As governments worldwide grappled with the reality of alien presence, panic spread among the general population. In New York City, Jack Harper watched the chaos unfold from the roof of his apartment building. A former Olympic sharpshooter turned reclusive author, Jack had always felt more comfortable observing the world from a distance. Now, as he peered through his high-powered spotting scope at the ethereal ship hovering above Manhattan, he felt a chill run down his spine. The aliens made no attempt at communication. For 3 days, their ships remained motionless, silent sentinels that inspired both awe and fear. World leaders pleaded for calm, but as the hours ticked by, tensions mounted. Military forces around the globe were placed on high alert, their weapons trained on the sky in a display of readiness that felt futile in the face of such advanced technology. On the 4th day, everything changed. Sarah was in the middle of a briefing when alarms blared across the base. Multiple bogies dropping from the alien craft. A technician shouted, "There, they're heading for major population centers." Heart pounding, Sarah raced to the command center. The holographic display showed dozens of smaller craft descending from the motherships, their trajectories aimed at the heart of cities around the world. "Weapons free," General Harrison ordered. "Take those bastards down." Fighter jets scrambled, surface-to-air missiles launched, and the sky lit up with humanity's most advanced weaponry. But as the smoke cleared, the awful truth became apparent. Not a single alien craft had been damaged. They shrugged off missiles like raindrops. Energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against their hulls, and they moved with a speed and agility that made Earth's most advanced fighters look like relics. In New York, Jack watched in horror as the alien craft descended on the city. People fled in panic, but there was nowhere to run. The aliens deployed what appeared to be energy weapons, vaporizing buildings and vehicles with terrifying precision. Law enforcement and military units that tried to resist were wiped out in seconds. As the invasion unfolded, a pattern emerged. The aliens weren't just attacking indiscriminately. They were targeting military installations, government buildings, and communication hubs. It was a coordinated assault aimed at crippling humanity's ability to mount an organized defense. At Peterson Space Force Base, Sarah fought to maintain order as reports of devastation poured in from around the world. The aliens had neutralized most of Earth's satellite network, leaving military forces in disarray. Communication was spotty at best, and it was clear that conventional tactics were useless against this overwhelmingly superior force. "We need to think outside the box," Sarah argued in an emergency strategy session. "Our tech is useless against them. We need to find a weakness, something they're not expecting." As if in answer to her words, a grainy video began circulating among military channels. It showed a group of hunters in rural Montana who had managed to down one of the smaller alien craft. The footage was shaky, but it clearly showed high-caliber rifle rounds penetrating the alien hull where energy weapons had failed. "It doesn't make sense," one of the analysts muttered. "How can their tech be impervious to our most advanced weapons, but vulnerable to simple projectiles?" Sarah's mind raced with the implications. "They've developed defenses against the weapons they expected us to have," she realized. "Energy shields, maybe. But they never considered we use something as primitive as bullets." It was a slim hope, but it was all they had. As alien forces began to establish ground control in major cities, a plan began to form. Humanity couldn't match the aliens in terms of technology or firepower, but they had something the invaders hadn't counted on: millions of skilled marksmen scattered across the globe. In New York, Jack Harper found himself thrust into the heart of the resistance. His sharpshooting skills, honed over years of competition and solitary practice, suddenly became invaluable. He joined a ragtag group of survivors, using his knowledge of the city's architecture to set up hidden sniper nests. The aliens, for all their advanced technology, had no defense against a well-placed shot from a high-powered rifle. Jack and his team began to take out alien patrols, their silent bullets proving far more effective than the military's flashy energy weapons. As similar stories began to emerge from around the world, Sarah saw an opportunity. "We need to coordinate these efforts," she told General Harrison. "A global network of snipers, working in tandem with what's left of our conventional forces. We can't beat them head-on, but we can bleed them, make Earth too costly to hold." The general nodded grimly. "Do it. And Major, find me the best of the best. We're going to need every sharpshooter we can get our hands on." As Sarah began to implement her plan, reaching out to military and civilian marksmen alike, the nature of the war began to shift. The aliens, expecting a swift victory, found themselves bogged down in an increasingly costly occupation. Their ground forces, designed for shock and awe, were ill-equipped to deal with an enemy they could rarely see. In the shadows of ruined cities, in the depths of forests and the heights of mountains, humanity's hidden resistance took shape. The silent snipers, once dismissed by the aliens as primitive savages, were about to teach the invaders a costly lesson. The war for Earth had only just begun, and humanity, with its back against the wall, was about to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate the resourcefulness, adaptability, and sheer determination of the human spirit. As the first part of our story draws to a close, the stage is set for an epic struggle. The aliens, with their vastly superior technology, thought victory was assured. But they're about to learn that humanity, when pushed to the brink, is capable of feats that defy all expectations. The silent snipers are gathering, and the true battle for Earth's freedom is about to unfold. The unseen rebellion. As dawn broke on the 15th day of the alien occupation, Earth's landscape had been irrevocably altered. Gleaming alien spires punctured the skies where proud human cities once stood, their ethereal glow a constant reminder of humanity's subjugation. But beneath the surface, in the shadows of ruined buildings and the depths of forgotten tunnels, a revolution was brewing. Major Sarah Reeves, now operating from a hidden bunker deep in the Rocky Mountains, stared at the holographic map before her. Tiny points of light flickered across the globe, each representing a confirmed ghost shot, a successful sniper attack against the alien invaders. The strategy was working, but it wasn't enough. Not yet. "We need to accelerate recruitment," she told her assembled team, a mix of military personnel and civilian specialists. "Every marksman, every hunter, every person who's ever held a rifle, we need them all." Jack Harper, the former Olympic sharpshooter who had become a key figure in New York's resistance, spoke up via a secure video link. "It's not just about finding people who can shoot, Major. We need to teach them to think like ghosts, to become invisible in plain sight." Sarah nodded. "Agreed. Mr. Harper, I want you to develop a training program, something we can disseminate globally to turn ordinary people into extraordinary hunters." As Jack set to work, Sarah turned her attention to a more pressing matter. Intelligence suggested the aliens were developing new technology to counter the sniper threat. They needed to strike a significant blow, and soon. Thousands of miles away, in the heart of occupied Paris, a young French resistance fighter named Adeline Rousseau was about to provide that opportunity. A former intelligence operative, Adeline had managed to infiltrate the alien command structure as a human collaborator. What she discovered would change the course of the war. The aliens call themselves the Nixar, Adeline reported via a heavily encrypted channel. They're not just here to conquer. Earth is a testing ground for something they call Project Eclipse, a weapon capable of extinguishing stars. The implications were staggering. Earth wasn't just fighting for its own survival, but for the fate of countless worlds across the galaxy. Adeline's next words sent a surge of hope through the resistance. There's a central control node for their planetary shield network. If we can take it out, their defenses will be vulnerable to conventional weapons. It was the break they'd been waiting for, but the target was impossibly well guarded. The control node was housed in a heavily fortified spire in the center of Paris, surrounded by legions of Nixar troops and their deadly war machines. Sarah knew this was their chance, but it would require a level of coordination and skill beyond anything they'd attempted before. She made a decision that would echo through history. "Jack," she said, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "I need you to assemble a team, the best of the best. We're going to take that spire down." Over the next week, as Adeline worked to gather more intelligence, Jack Harper embarked on a global recruitment mission. He sought out legends in the sniper community, individuals whose skills bordered on supernatural. There was Zoya Volkova, a former Russian Special Forces operative whose confirmed kill count during the invasion was higher than entire military units. Raj Patel, an Indian forest ranger who had single-handedly defended a wildlife preserve from alien incursion, using nothing but his old bolt-action rifle and an encyclopedic knowledge of the terrain. Jun Kim, a South Korean esports champion whose thousands of hours in VR shooting simulations had translated into an uncanny ability to calculate trajectories in real-world combat. And finally, Imani Okoro, a Kenyan anti-poaching ranger whose stealth skills were said to border on the mystical. As this elite team assembled in a secret location outside Paris, Sarah worked with what remained of the global military command to prepare for the aftermath. If the mission succeeded, they would need to launch a coordinated counteroffensive the moment the alien shields fell. The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. While a series of diversionary attacks drew alien attention across the city, the sniper team would infiltrate the underground catacombs beneath Paris. They would navigate the labyrinthine tunnels, timing their approach to emerge at the base of the alien spire at precisely the right moment. From there, they would need to ascend the structure, using their unparalleled marksmanship to eliminate alien defenders with breathtaking precision. One missed shot, one alarm triggered, and the entire operation would unravel. The night before the mission, Jack gathered his team. "What we're about to do," he said, his voice low but intense, "goes beyond anything we've ever attempted. We're not just fighting for our lives or even for our planet. We're fighting for the very concept of freedom in this galaxy." He looked each of them in the eye, seeing the same mix of fear and determination he felt in his own heart. "The Nixar think they've won. They see us as primitives, barely worth their notice. Tomorrow, we're going to show them why you should never, ever underestimate the human spirit." As the team made their final preparations, Sarah received an unexpected transmission. It was from a Nixar defector, a low-ranking technician who had been monitoring human communications out of curiosity. "Your species," the alien said, its translated voice filled with a mix of awe and fear, "is unlike anything we've encountered. You should have broken by now, submitted to our rule. Instead, you fight with a ferocity that defies logic. Some of us are beginning to question the wisdom of this invasion." Sarah leaned in, hardly daring to breathe. "Why are you telling me this?" There was a long pause before the reply came, because you need to know that you're not just fighting soldiers, you're fighting an idea. The idea of Nixar supremacy. Shatter that illusion, and this war will take on a whole new dimension. As the transmission ended, Sarah felt a glimmer of something she hadn't experienced since the invasion began: hope. Not just for victory, but for a future where humans and aliens might find common ground. But first, they had to win, and that victory would begin with a handful of extraordinary individuals, armed with little more than their rifles and an unshakable determination to free their world. As dawn broke over Paris, Jack Harper and his team emerged from the catacombs, their eyes fixed on the alien spire that pierced the sky above them. In the distance, explosions began to rock the city as the diversionary attacks commenced. Jack took a deep breath, feeling the weight of humanity's future on his shoulders. He glanced at his team, seeing the same resolve in their eyes. With a nod, he hefted his rifle. "Remember," he said softly, "we are the ghosts they never saw coming. We are humanity's last, best hope. And after today, the Nixar will never forget the name of Earth." With those words, the most daring mission in human history began. The fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds across the galaxy, now rested in the hands of 5 extraordinary snipers. The unseen rebellion was about to make itself known in a way that would shake the very foundations of the Nixar Empire. Echoes of defiance. The alien spire loomed before them, a monument to Nixar superiority that was about to become the epicenter of humanity's resurgence. Jack Harper and his elite team of snipers moved with preternatural silence, their bodies melding with the shadows cast by the Paris dawn. Zoya Volkova took point, her enhanced ocular implants scanning for hidden security measures. "Quantum tripwires," she whispered, her voice barely audible over their secure comms. "They're using dark matter fluctuations as an alarm system." Raj Patel, the Indian forest ranger turned urban guerrilla, smiled grimly. "Good thing we brought our own quantum specialist." He nodded to Jun Kim, the Korean esports champion whose understanding of theoretical physics rivaled that of the aliens themselves. Jun's fingers danced over a handheld device of his own design. "Creating a localized field to mask our approach," he murmured. "We'll be ghosts in more than just name." As they approached the base of the spire, Imani Okoro suddenly held up a hand. The Kenyan tracker tilted her head, listening to something beyond human perception. "Subsonic guardians," she warned. "Like nothing I've ever encountered before." Jack's mind raced. They hadn't anticipated this level of security. But then again, the Nixar hadn't anticipated them. "New plan," he said, his voice steady despite the surge of adrenaline. "We're going external." In a display of athleticism that would have seemed impossible mere months ago, the team began to scale the alien structure. Their movements were a blend of parkour, rock climbing, and something entirely new, a human adaptation to alien architecture. Halfway up the spire, they encountered their first real resistance. A patrol of Nixar sentinels, their bodies an unsettling fusion of organic and mechanical parts, emerged from a hidden portal. "Quantum locked," Zoya hissed. "Standard rounds won't penetrate." Jack allowed himself a small smile. "Good thing we don't use standard rounds." With a series of shots so rapid they sounded like a single prolonged whisper, he brought down the patrol. The specially designed ammunition, a fusion of terrestrial metallurgy and reverse-engineered alien tech, phased through the quantum shields as if they didn't exist. As they continued their ascent, Major Sarah Reeves' voice crackled over their comms. "Ghost team, be advised. We're detecting massive energy fluctuations from the spire. Whatever Project Eclipse is, we think they're powering it up." The implications were clear. This wasn't just about bringing down the planetary shields anymore. They were in a race to prevent Earth from becoming the testing ground for a weapon that could extinguish stars. Inside the command bunker, Sarah watched the holographic display with growing tension. The diversionary attacks had drawn significant Nixar forces away from the spire, but it wouldn't be long before they realized the true nature of the threat. "Major," one of her analysts called out, We're picking up chatter from the Nixar command frequencies. They're in chaos. Saru moved to the console, her eyes widening as she listened to the translated alien communications. The Nixar weren't just confused, they were terrified. They think we're using some kind of advanced cloaking technology, she realized. They can't comprehend that it's just skill and determination. A slow smile spread across her face. Humanity's greatest weapon has always been our ability to achieve the impossible. Push that feed to Ghost Team. Let them hear what they're doing to the enemy's morale. Back on the spire, Jack and his team had reached a vast energy conduit near the summit. The air crackled with power, setting their hair on end and causing their weapons to hum ominously. "This is it," Jack said, surveying the alien technology before them. "The nexus point for both the planetary shields and Project Eclipse. We take this out, we give Earth a fighting chance." Reg examined the conduit, his expression grim. "The energy density here, our weapons won't make a dent." Jun stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with the thrill of solving an impossible problem. "We don't need to destroy it," he said. "We just need to change its resonance frequency." He began to make rapid calculations on his device. Suddenly, Imani's head snapped up. "Incoming," she warned. "Massive aerial assault, closing fast." The sky above them filled with Nixar attack craft, their weapons charging. It seemed impossible that the team could survive, let alone complete their mission. But then something extraordinary happened. All across Paris, snipers who had been providing cover for the diversionary attacks turned their attention to the spire. Thousands of rifles, each wielded by a marksman who had honed their skills in the crucible of alien invasion, opened fire as one. The barrage was unlike anything the Nixar had ever encountered. Their shields, designed to repel energy weapons and missiles, were useless against the hail of hypersonic projectiles. Attack craft began to fall from the sky, their sleek designs shattered by the precision onslaught. In the command bunker, Sarah watched in awe as the holographic display lit up with thousands of confirmed kills. "My God," she breathed. "They've done it. They've actually done it." The Nixar, faced with an attack they couldn't comprehend from an enemy they couldn't see, began to retreat in disarray. Their carefully constructed image of invincibility lay in ruins, shattered by human ingenuity and spirit. On the spire, Jack and his team seized their moment. Jun Kim, his fingers flying over his device, began to manipulate the energy conduit. "Initiating quantum frequency shift," he announced. "Planetary shields destabilizing, now." The effect was immediate and spectacular. All across the globe, the shimmering barriers that had protected Nixar installations flickered and died. In orbit, their mighty warships suddenly found themselves vulnerable to the weaponry they had dismissed as primitive. But Jun wasn't finished. With a final triumphant keystroke, he triggered a cascading failure in the Project Eclipse prototype. The weapon that could have extinguished stars imploded, taking the top third of the spire with it. As debris rained down around them, Jack turned to his team. Each of them bore the marks of their impossible climb, their faces streaked with sweat and grime. But in their eyes burned a fire that no alien force could ever extinguish. "This isn't the end," Jack said, his voice carrying over the sounds of chaos and celebration erupting across the city. "This is just the beginning. Today, we showed the Nixar, and ourselves, what humanity is truly capable of." Zoya allowed herself a rare smile. "We have a saying in Russia, the wolf is not killed by its size, but by its perseverance." Reg nodded in agreement. "And in India, we say, even a small lamp dispels the darkness of the entire house." As the team began their descent, ready to join the ground forces now surging forward to reclaim their city, they knew that the tide of the war had irrevocably turned. The Nixar's aura of invincibility was shattered, and in its place, a new legend was being born. The legend of humanity's unseen rebellion, of silent guardians who had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. It was a story that would be told and retold across the stars, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that refused to be conquered. In the command bunker, Sarah Rees allowed herself a moment of quiet triumph. But even as reports of Nixar retreats poured in from around the globe, she knew their work was far from over. The aliens would regroup, would try to understand how they had been so thoroughly outmaneuvered. But humanity would be ready. The silent snipers, once dismissed as primitive savages, had become the vanguard of Earth's defense. And in the crucible of this war, they were forging themselves into something the galaxy had never seen before. As the sun set on a day that would be remembered for generations to come, the echoes of defiance spread across the planet and beyond. Humanity had taken its first, decisive step towards the stars, and the universe would never be the same. Quantum redemption. The fall of the Paris Spire marked a turning point in the war, but the Nixar were far from defeated. As Earth's forces celebrated their first major victory, a new threat loomed on the horizon, one that would challenge humanity's newfound confidence and push their ingenuity to its limits. Major Sarah Rees stood before a holographic display in the war room, her face illuminated by the eerie glow of what their Nixar defector had dubbed the Void Catalyst. The image showed a massive construction in high Earth orbit, its purpose as ominous as its appearance. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sarah addressed the assembled leaders of the global resistance, "what you're looking at is the Nexar's failsafe. If they can't have Earth, they intend to make sure no one can." Jack Harper, freshly returned from the Paris mission, studied the hologram with a furrowed brow. "What exactly are we dealing with here, Major?" Sarah's expression was grim. "According to our intel, it's a device capable of altering the fundamental constants of physics within a localized area. If activated, it would essentially rewrite the laws of nature on Earth, making it uninhabitable for any form of life as we know it." A stunned silence fell over the room. The implications were staggering, not just for Earth, but for the entire concept of warfare. This wasn't just about conquest anymore. It was about the power to reshape reality itself. Zoya Volkova, the Russian sniper who had become a legend in her own right, spoke up. "So how do we stop it? Our rifles won't be much use in space." It was Jun Kim who provided an unexpected answer. The young Korean genius had been poring over data from the Paris mission, his mind working in ways that blurred the line between science and science fiction. "Maybe we don't need to stop it," Jun said, his eyes gleaming with the excitement of a new idea. "Maybe we can use it." Over the next hour, Jun laid out a plan so audacious it bordered on madness. The Void Catalyst, he explained, operated on principles of quantum entanglement. In theory, with the right modifications, they could use it to create a bridge between parallel universes, universes where Earth had never been invaded, where humanity had already achieved interstellar travel. "We're not just fighting for our Earth anymore," Jun concluded. "We're fighting for every Earth across every possible timeline." The room erupted into a mixture of excited chatter and skeptical objections. Sarah raised a hand for silence, her mind racing with the possibilities and dangers of Jun's proposal. "Even if this is possible," she said slowly, "we'd need a team capable of operating in zero gravity, with the skills to outmaneuver Nexar forces and the scientific knowledge to reprogram an alien doomsday device. Where would we even find?" "Us," Jack interrupted, gesturing to his team of elite snipers. "We'll do it." Sarah looked at them in surprise. "You're the best we have on the ground, but space combat is a whole different." Imani Okoro, the Kenyan tracker, stepped forward. "With all due respect, Major, adaptability is what made us effective against the Nixar in the first place. If humanity is going to survive, we need to take the fight beyond Earth. We might as well start now." Over the next week, as the Nixar regrouped and prepared for a final devastating assault, Jack's team underwent a crash course in space operations. They trained in zero-G chambers, learned the basics of spacecraft piloting, and studied everything known about Nixar orbital defenses. Jun worked tirelessly to modify their weapons and equipment for space combat, integrating reversed-engineered alien tech with human ingenuity. The result was a set of gear that looked like something out of a sci-fi fever dream: quantum-entangled sniper rifles, dark matter camouflage suits, and gravity manipulation devices that would allow for unprecedented mobility in zero-G. As the day of the mission approached, a palpable sense of destiny settled over the Resistance. This wasn't just another operation. It was humanity's first step into a larger universe, a universe they now knew was filled with wonders and terrors beyond imagination. The night before the launch, Jack gathered his team for one final briefing. "What we're about to do goes beyond anything in human history," he said, his voice quiet but intense. "We're not just soldiers anymore. We're explorers, pioneers. Whatever happens up there, know that you've already made humanity proud." As dawn broke, the team boarded a modified Nixar shuttle, its systems reprogrammed by Jun to bypass alien security protocols. Sarah's voice crackled over the comms as they prepared for launch. "Ghost Team, you are clear for ascent. May the stars themselves bear witness to human courage. Godspeed." The shuttle lifted off, quickly accelerating beyond the sound barrier. As Earth's atmosphere thinned around them, the team felt a profound shift in their perspective. They were leaving behind everything they had ever known, venturing into a realm where humanity had never set foot. As they approached the void catalyst, the true scale of the device became apparent. It was a construct of impossible geometries, its surface shifting and warping in ways that defied conventional physics. "Multiple bogies incoming," Raj warned, his eyes glued to the sensor readouts. "Nixar interceptors, moving fast." Jack's mind raced, adjusting to the three-dimensional battlefield of space. "Zoya, Amani, prepare for EVA. Raj, you're on defense. Jun, get us as close to that thing as you can. We're going to thread the needle." Cosmic Ascendance. The return of the Ghost Team marked the dawn of a new era for humanity. As they touched down on Earth, they were greeted not just as heroes, but as harbingers of a future beyond imagination. The knowledge and technology that flowed through Jack Harper's quantum bridge had catapulted human civilization forward by centuries, if not millennia. Sarah Reeves, now promoted to general, stood before a global audience, her holographic image broadcast to every corner of the planet and beyond. "Citizens of Earth," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of her words, "today we stand at the threshold of a new age, an age of cosmic citizenship." In the months that followed, Earth underwent a transformation that defied all expectations. Cities were rebuilt using advanced nanofabrication techniques, their spires reaching towards the stars that no longer seemed so distant. The scars of the Nixar invasion faded, replaced by the vibrant energy of a species reborn. But with great power came great responsibility. The Ghost Team, now expanded and evolved, found themselves at the forefront of a new mission: to guide humanity's ascension to the galactic stage. Zoya Volkova, her sharpshooting skills now augmented by neural interfaces, led a team tasked with establishing Earth's first extrasolar colony. From sniping aliens to terraforming planets, she mused as their ship approached a pristine world in the Alpha Centauri system. Life certainly takes unexpected turns. Raj Patel's deep connection with nature made him the perfect candidate to oversee the integration of Earth's biosphere with alien ecosystems. His work in xenoecology would eventually lead to the creation of the first truly universal nature preserves, spanning multiple star systems. Imani Okoro's unparalleled tracking abilities evolved into something far more profound. She became humanity's first cosmic wayfinder, able to navigate the treacherous currents of hyperspace with an intuition that bordered on the supernatural. Her innovations in faster-than-light travel would open up the galaxy in ways once thought impossible. Jun Kim, the boy genius who had reprogrammed the Void Catalyst, now stood at the helm of Earth's most ambitious project yet, the creation of a Dyson swarm around the Sun. "We're not just harnessing the power of a star," he explained to a rapt audience of scientists and engineers. "We're taking the first steps towards becoming a Type I civilization on the Kardashev scale." But even as humanity reached for the stars, new challenges emerged. The multiverse bridge had not only brought knowledge and technology, it had also alerted other advanced civilizations to Earth's existence. Some came in peace, eager to welcome a new species into the galactic community. Others viewed the rapidly advancing humans with suspicion and fear. It was in this complex interstellar political landscape that the Ghost Team truly came into their own. Their unique blend of combat prowess, adaptability, and now cosmic understanding made them the perfect ambassadors for a species taking its first steps onto the galactic stage. One particularly tense negotiation took place on the neutral world of Nexus Prime, a bustling hub of interstellar commerce and diplomacy. Earth's delegation, led by the Ghost Team, found themselves face to face with representatives from a dozen alien species, including a contingent of reformed Nixar. As accusations flew and tensions rose, it was Jack Harper, or rather, a quantum echo of him, manifested through technology derived from the Void Catalyst, who stepped forward to address the assembly. Esteemed beings of the cosmos, Jack's voice resonated with an authority that transcended physical form. We stand before you not just as humans, but as guardians of a greater truth. Our journey from a primitive world cowering before invasion to a species on the brink of cosmic ascendance is not unique. It is a path walked by many in countless realities. The chamber fell silent as Jack continued, his words carrying the weight of multiversal wisdom. The bridge we opened showed us not just the potential for advancement, but the fundamental interconnectedness of all sentient life. We are all, in our own ways, reaching for the same cosmic truths. As Jack spoke, holographic displays came to life around the chamber, showing glimpses of parallel Earths of human civilizations that had taken different paths to the stars. Some had achieved harmony with nature, their cities blending seamlessly with alien landscapes. Others had fully embraced cybernetic enhancement, their bodies as much machine as flesh. This is not just humanity's story, Jack concluded, gesturing to the myriad visions of human potential. It is the story of life itself, endlessly adaptive, endlessly striving. We come before you not to conquer or compete, but to join in the grand cosmic dance, to add our verse to the universal song. The impact was profound. Species that had been on the brink of calling for Earth's quarantine now saw humans in a new light. The reformed Nixar, in particular, were moved by this display of cosmic wisdom from a race they had once dismissed as primitive. As the Nexus Prime Conference concluded, with Earth formally recognized as an up-and-coming power in the galactic community, the Ghost Team found a moment of quiet reflection. You know, Zoya mused, looking out at the alien cityscape before them, when I first picked up a rifle to fight the Nixar, I never imagined it would lead to this. Quantum bridges, parallel realities, galactic politics, it's a long way from the streets of Moscow. Reg nodded, his eyes distant. We've come so far, and yet, in many ways, we're just beginning. The universe is vast, and we've only scratched the surface of its mysteries. Imani, her consciousness still partly attuned to the currents of hyperspace, smiled. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? There will always be new horizons, new challenges. The human spirit of exploration will never run out of frontiers. Jun, his mind already racing with calculations for their next grand project, chimed in. And with each step we take, we're not just advancing humanity. We're contributing to the cosmic tapestry, adding our unique thread to the fabric of existence. As they stood there, representatives of a species that had faced extinction and emerged transformed, the Ghost Team felt the weight of their new role. They were no longer just defenders of Earth, but shepherds of humanity's cosmic destiny. The quantum echo of Jack Harper flickered beside them, a reminder of the sacrifices made and the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. The next chapter of our story is just beginning, he said, his voice carrying echoes of countless realities. And it's going to be more extraordinary than anything we could have imagined. As the suns of Nexus Prime set, casting the alien city in a kaleidoscope of colors, the Ghost Team turned their gaze to the star-filled sky. Somewhere out there, new adventures awaited, new challenges to overcome, new wonders to discover, and new ways to prove that the human spirit, once unleashed, knows no bounds. The age of Earth's cosmic ascendance had truly begun, and the universe would never be the same.